How's it going, Patriots? It's August 4th, 2025, and we're back. We are back with a vengeance. Glad you could all join me today. It's been a while since I did a live broadcast, but I've been just been busy with stuff. So I did a couple of late night ones where I just showed memes and stuff, but I got a whole 2 pages of notes from the last week here. And there's a lot to talk about, so appreciate your time coming here, stopping here, and saying hello in the chat if you catch the live, and leaving comments after the video. That helps everything happen on the algorithm or whatever, something about YouTube. It helps when you do that, so like it and share it out. Hey, Sun-Kissed, how's it going? We're here at the river. It's just a gorgeous day out. And after a miserable hot week there, but it's been in the 80s for the last 4 days now. So been getting a lot of stuff done outside, and it's not as miserable as it was. Going great. Good to hear it, Sun-Kissed. Glad you're here. So much has happened, man. But I want to start off talking about, we got distraction stories in the news, and we got stuff that's actually happening. And it feels to me like Trump is opening up fronts all over the place, man. Like under the radar, where everybody's screaming about the Epstein list, about all the violent crime that's happening all over the city, all these attacks and stuff that are going, like the Cincinnati attack, and how they can just get 2 weeks of airplay out of one kind of, by withholding small amounts of evidence and giving us the drip feed about, oh, well, they didn't punch that person out because that person said something to the other person before that. And then we waited 3 days and they show us the other video of the guy slapping the person. And it's a clown show, and it's not meant for us. We're looking for facts. We're looking for things to get done to make America great again. And we know that all these violent attacks that are happening all over the place, man. It does seem to be escalating, but I'm not sure if it isn't just the same amount of these attacks. They're just being drummed up in the media more. But it is amazing how many violent attacks are happening across America to seemingly good people that don't deserve it. Seriously, people getting seriously messed up. That Cincinnati attack was one of them. There's been a bunch of shootings. There was a Walmart guy with a knife, and a good Samaritan with a gun subdued the guy without killing him, without shooting him. The police did it's never mind about the police. I ain't gonna bitch about the police, but man, they didn't even call that guy a hero. The guy who stopped the 11 people getting knifed in a Walmart, they did not, when the police did their press conference on it, they did not call that man a hero. And they got to slather on the hero worship every time they do something good. But this Samaritan, a man with a concealed weapons permit, subdued an attacker with a gun without shooting the guy, without shooting somebody else, without getting shot by the cops when they showed up. An amazing thing can happen when we have good, well-minded, moral people that are armed out in our society, making sure that we're safe, because when seconds count, the police are always minutes away, unless there's one standing right there. And when you think there's one standing there, right there, like in Cincinnati, they're releasing all these people from a jazz festival in Cincinnati at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's no cops around. So, don't rely on the police. You are your own security system. It's just a good habit to get into, like the Boy Scouts, is just be prepared. Be prepared. Do what you can do to keep things safe around you, All right, we got a crew already. Charlene and Cindy W. and Barbara. Hello. Cora Schooner. Good to see you, Barbara. Thank you, mods, for being here. Hi, Ann. Good to see you. Just scrolling back up there. One of the first things I wanted to talk about is Marjorie Taylor Greene just keeps introducing more and more bills. Congress, of course, went on a vacation, so I don't know what's up with that. You know, Trump pretty much begged them to stay back, get his appointments certified or whatever they got to do to get them into their jobs. Trump's waiting on 150 appointments to be seated behind a desk somewhere that they can start doing their job for Trump. But Congress has dropped the ball, man. All right, Kentucky. Good to see you, Kentucky. Thanks for those links you've been sending, man. I like that tune you sent me. That was really cool. All right, getting supper. We'll just listen then. Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced a bill called Making American Elections Great Again Act. And within that, she's calling for a new census where we don't count illegals. So we're going to get a true number of the population of American citizens in every city around the world, around the country, so that we can establish the true number of representatives that are in the House of Representatives in D.C. for us, man. And in their own state governments, too. Because up till now, in the last census, there was no "Are you a citizen?" question. So we don't know how many millions of people, complied with the census, but and now they got driver's licenses, social security numbers, and voter registrations. And that's how FJB districts demand proof of citizenship and a photo ID when you vote. And it institutes criminal penalties for helping illegals vote. Because right now, these crews go out into areas and they're signing up voters, and they're just some person from Ohio that they're paying them to come to Pennsylvania and sign people up on a clipboard, and nobody's verifying this information here. Oh, we're buff. Well, I think we're okay here, Charlene. Check it out. Hey, Ricky, good to see you, Patriot. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has also introduced other DOJ-related bills, too. But Congress just doesn't seem to be very rambunctious about getting things done for MAGA. So we got an election coming up in November. We got the big midterm coming up in 2026 November. And these are where we got to focus our efforts, man. And under the radar, MTG, she just keeps putting out these bills. I don't know what they're doing with them in Congress, because then I hear her announcement, and that's the last I hear about this stuff. So I think Congress is still captured. Trump is doing all this with Congress basically tied behind his back. And it's amazing what he's getting done without Congress's full and complete Republican majority cooperation. And I got local proof of that here, man. My local newspaper refused to publish an article written by my representative because they fact-checked him, okay? And then he totally refused any edit to his essay about the big, beautiful bill. So nothing was ever printed in the newspaper about it. Nobody knows about it around here because the newspaper refused to put it in. And Lloyd Smucker just was very stubborn about it. He's not rolling with the punches. How do we get the word out? This dude doesn't do town halls. He doesn't do, I said, how do I find out what my representative's doing? And they said, well, sign up for his email, and then they get one goofy email about why the newspaper wouldn't print my essay about the big, beautiful bill. In the meantime, we got treason charges. Wait, I'm getting way ahead of myself. All right. Hold on. There's a lot going on, man. We have a no tax on home sales act in the workings. It's been written, presented. And then we also have more of these CR votes, continuing resolution votes, because they never did establish a budget. Okay, so now they're just kicked the can down another 6 months. I think in September or October, they're voting on that again. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls this an utter failure in leadership. We are steadfast on sending no more money to foreign aid, all right, for a while, until we get our act together here in this country, man. Wow. Right. Who doesn't have an ID, Kentucky? Right. It's insulting, but yeah, it's hard to put into words, man. So MTG is out there, and she don't even know if she wants to run for Congress again down in Georgia there, because do the people want her in there? You know, she is fighting for her constituents. She does not have a foreign nation's flag standing outside of her office door in D.C. like 70% of the other representatives do. So we just gotta keep plugging ahead. We gotta identify our good representatives, make sure they stay in office, make sure we're voting out rhinos, and in the meantime, under the radar, they're cleaning up our elections. Okay, the DOJ announced that they're requiring like 20-something states to send them the information on their voter rolls, so the DOJ can go through them and see if there's any shenanigans going on in their voter rolls. Some of the states are not complying with that, so we just got to keep an eye on that. Who is complying and who's not with that? What states? And inch by inch, we're taking back ground that the Libtards stole by just clouding up our elections, all the way back to, COVID, and everything's a mail-in election. That's hogwash, man. Okay, and then there's also there's still a J6er in prison here. I've got a little bit of information on him. His name is Edward Kelly, and he was pardoned by Trump, but he's still in prison. He has been sentenced to life in prison, and I'm not sure on all the details of that. It has something to do with when he got arrested for J6, and he might have been on a probationary period, and I think his dad had guns in the house that he was living in. So somehow or another, they tripped him up with all that stuff and sentenced him to life on some type of a charge, man. So, and he's a Marine Corps vet. I mean, another Marine Corps veteran, J6er, stood for us, went through the ringer, and now he's going through the ringer again. So I don't know if we can help him out in any way. One way to help him out is to try to stay up on information. So I'm just passing that out there. StopHate.com seems to be carrying the torch for Edward Kelly right now. This is where I got my information on him. And the dude needs help, man. He needs commissary money. He needs... we got to figure out, can we write letters? We now have a pardon czar in the Trump administration. Can we get the pardon czar on this somehow? So if we could mobilize a little bit and see what we can do, man. See what God tells you to do. Does he put this on your heart? Do you have some time where you can do this? We're all scrambling with health issues, financial issues, and jobs and family and stuff. So if you find yourself in that spot and then God puts that desire on it, follow it, man, because nothing is more satisfying than when he moves you and you go for it. Trump just came back last weekend from a huge deal in Scotland where he made a gigantic over $1 trillion in a trade agreement with the UK. And while he was out there, he played a round of golf, which I thought was amazing. Trump hit the most amazing T1 drive right in front of the world press out in Scotland. and he clobbered that thing, man. Do you know how hard that would be? You get up there, you're 79 years old, you got the media of the world filming you, taking a tee shot. You're not warmed up. You're just walking out on the golf course, and he just clobbered it, man. And we also got to see Golf Force One. The Secret Service has got this new golf cart when Trump is golfing that he gets in on, and it's like got sides and stuff on it. I think it's a bulletproof golf cart called Golf Course One. I thought that was pretty cool. And then while he was out there, Trump was sitting down talking to the world press, and Trump opens up a whole nother front on windmills, man. And he goes into a long rant about how ugly these windmills are, about how they're one of the most uneconomical things to build, maintain, run for what they get back from it. The environmental disaster from them is that it takes birds out of the air like crazy, and it's doing something to the whales. They got windmills out in the ocean, and it's doing something where the whales are beaching themselves. And so God bless Trump for bringing this up, giving it a world platform to be viewed at. It wasn't on my bingo card, you know, and Trump just opens it up, and everything he says is true about it, man. If you didn't check that out, it's when there was a woman sitting there. I think she's the head of the EU or something, and he goes off on windmills, and they build them all over in Europe too, and they have oil right underneath the windmills, but they can't drill the oil because the windmills are on top of them. And then Trump goes into a thing where they can't bury the old windmills because it hurts the dirt. And so he's calling it out, man. He's definitely calling it out. All right, Chad, it's hard to keep up with you guys there. And I love Trump for doing that. He's excellent at that, man. Kelly is, I don't know where Kelly is now. Edward Kelly. Jake Lang made a video or two about him on YouTube, and Stop Hate had information on him also. Okay, on another battlefront, UCLA. They had to pay a $6.1 million settlement on their DEI malarkey that they've been doing for admissions into their college there, or their university. So we got Harvard, we got UCLA, Columbia. Trump opened up a whole front on these universities that are pushing this garbage DEI hiring practices, and also the educational requirements to that was actually producing like racist people. And Trump opened up a war front on that. He's winning on it. Every front on that battle right now. They're all back in the negotiations because they all want to get the handouts from the federal government. So they're into negotiations, man. And that's pretty much what Trump did. Everything is negotiable now. And he opened up the tariffs. He opened up the stuff on the DEI, among other things, and, you know, windmills. And a lot of federal money finds its way, and that is our leverage on them. Congress, the House of Representatives, holds the purse strings. We've been told this over and over, but they didn't do nothing about the purse strings that were paying all the J6er judges and prosecutors. So they don't wield that power properly, and Trump is showing them how to do it. So hopefully learn some lessons, representatives, man. Yeah, Kentucky. That was the vibe I was getting too. Everything about Edward Kelly was blown out of proportion. Maximum penalties on everything. It's definitely an exercise in retribution, and that shows us that they are still embedded. All right, this coup d'état is still occurring right now. Okay, these people are still in the government and are actively resisting and fighting against the will of us, the will of you and I, and the person that we elected to be the president. That's what it comes down to. This is a coup d'etat. Been saying it for years, man. Well, that's right. If Trump pardoned him from J6, they shouldn't be allowed to use it against him. Right, Sunkist, but they did. Right on, thank Kentucky. Hit that like and share. Okay, so then we got, let's see. And this DEI thing, by the way, is about 50 years old now. This has been actively warping people's perceptions for 50 years, okay? The first time I remember DEI was 1980, and I heard that they had to hire black females for police positions. And that just didn't compute, you know? I never heard that before, 1980. And they've been throwing this garbage at us all this time. The corporations all just lined up in lockstep behind this philosophy, and all the corporate money was going towards promoting all that. Corporate money funded Black Lives Matter. Corporate money funds these people. So if you're buying Nike tennis shoes, you're supporting Black Lives Matter, basically, you know? This is why knowing where you're spending your money means a lot. It's very important, you know? Yeah, we got Patriot bites all over the place, Sunkist. Okay, so the Epstein thing, I don't even want to talk about Epstein because I think that's a libtard psyop, okay? And as soon as these libtards get out of the Epstein rabbit hole and figure out what went on and why it became a thing and how it's being used now to just throw everybody into chaos, by the time they crawl out of that rabbit hole, we're going to need a lot more MAGA hats because they're going to be going, oh, I figured it out now. And you got to let everybody have that eureka moment, you know. You can't tell them, but when they have that eureka moment, when they figure out the whole Epstein thing is bunk, not bunk, but it's been manipulated and used. And there were victims, no doubt about it. There were victims in the Epstein events that transpired. But the FBI came in, swept the whole thing up, hid all the information, and they've been in power all throughout Joe Biden's presidency. The FBI was not complying with Trump during his first presidency, and we're just now getting in there and cleaning it out, man. It's like locking up your cabin up in the mountains, and you haven't been there in 5 years. You got to get in there and get the weeds out of there and the bugs and the spider webs and stuff. And that's what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino found when they got there. And the real issue is this Russian collusion story that Obama and Brennan and Clapper and Hillary cooked up when Trump was ready to ascend into office. He had won the election, and they had to undermine his presidency for 4 years. So it was meant to just get Trump, man. They wanted to get Trump back then. That's where it started. And they lied. They twisted justice. They came into the secret FISA court that President Bush set up for the Patriot Act and totally abused it, man. There were good people sent to prison during that whole thing that we need retribution right now. And I heard Trump saying, like, gosh, I wish I would have done something about Hillary, but I didn't want to because she was a president's wife. And I thought, that's a little hypocritical because that is definitely the two-tiered system of justice. But I'm not going to hold this one thing against Trump. The one thing we've been screaming about is a two-tiered system of justice. But that kind of started during the Biden administration. And Trump didn't go after Hillary for that reason. But I think he's changed his mind on that right now. And now there have been investigations for the Russia hoax. There was the original Horowitz report, and then there was the Mueller investigation for 2 years. They put that in our faces, man, and they just kept stirring the pot up underneath Trump so he couldn't get max amount of things done, you know. They hamstrung him. They tied his hands behind his back during his whole first presidency. And then when the Mueller thing didn't work, they started up the impeachment hoaxes, you know. These people are wicked and we don't hate them enough, and we got to do something about it, America. And getting involved is what we got to do about that, man. Kash Patel came out 2 weeks ago. I never heard of a burn bag, okay? And now all of a sudden, everyone's talking for a week. They're talking about burn bags. So they're taking, who cares where he found the information? All they're talking about now is burn bags. And what are they? And where did he find them? And who, you know, did they dust them for fingerprints and all this? But they're missing the issue of what we're talking about. The information that was in the burn bag is now public. And that's what the media should be reporting on, not what's a burn bag? You know, it's just a sideshow to the main point that is happening all the time. Sunkist, I got to tell you, the P.O. box number that's my old one there. I just figured this out. I'm sorry. My new P.O. box number is 5011. And it is in the channel description underneath my channel there. Hey, Beer and Backroads, good to see you, man. Right on. Check out Beer and Backroads, man. He's putting out really cool short videos on all kinds of topics. Doing a good job over there. Right, they were going to burn the evidence. I don't know. So this thing called the Durham Report Annex, whatever. It was a report that Durham wrote. It has all the information of who we interviewed, what they said. I think basically it's the conglomeration of all the information resulting from the Durham report. And I don't know what happened. You know, and then Kash Patel finds this information and hands it off to Grassley, who is in Congress, who is not 100% actively supporting President Trump at this point. So I'm a little, why didn't that information go directly to Pam Bondi at the DOJ or somebody? I don't understand that, man. So now Congress has the Durham Annex. How many months are they going to turn this into hearings and parading people and subpoenas and puffing their chest out and going, we're going to get to the bottom of this, when it should have just went to Bondi? And if there was crimes committed in there, charged in grand jury indictments, go arrest them. That's what we want, patriots. That's what we need to establish our faith in our justice system again. You know, lawfare and these warped arrests and incarcerations that have been occurring on patriots of this country, people who, for loving their country, this is what they've done to us. And we need my faith is shattered in the DOJ at this point. So, but the DOJ under the radar now is busted a bunch of like human trafficking rings. There has been multiple arrests there, and they have been arresting the fentanyl people coming in. There have been many arrests on that front, all of which mainstream media doesn't report on. Tulsi came out and said basically Operation Mockingbird never ended. It's still in full swing right now. Operation Mockingbird we learned about from, I think, the Church Commission, where the CIA employs a lot of the people that you see on the news at night on TV. So they're allowed to lie to you. The propaganda is allowed here in this country to be used on you. And it shouldn't be even allowed to be used on anyone. Even out throughout the world, in 1948, they said, you can go lie to the world, CIA. You do what you want with it. And they did. They lied to everybody. They did revolutions in all kinds of countries for whatever reasons that they saw fit. We never voted on that stuff, but we funded it. And then Obama said, oh, now you can lie to America. And then George Bush's Patriot Act gave like a lot of power to surveil Americans. So in conjunction, the two things together is what resulted in them being able to literally spy on President Trump before he was in office and after he was in office, which is absolutely unheard of, man. So this Operation Mockingbird is still in effect. The press, they can't report on any of this stuff because in order for Obama and Clapper and the Russia tribe to pull off what they did, they were then feeding the mainstream media fake information. And these people in the media knew this was fake. They just saw that that was the direction that they were supposed to go. They weren't stupid. They knew that Clinton lied on that. They knew that they were lying to the FISA courts because we all heard about it, okay? We all heard about it back then from people who were reporting on the truth. The truth was out there, but mainstream media didn't present it to the people. And they can't report on it without implicating themselves in it. They were complicit. They were the conspiracy. They did it to us, America. We don't hate these people enough. These are still the people broadcasting it to people's living rooms on TV. And they just make up lies to fit an agenda, to make you hate the orange man, and every week is a different thing. And then they throw in a bunch of chaff, like, violence and attacks and stuff like that. And they are complicit. So it's going to be a glorious day. I see, oh, the eagle just flew by. Bald eagle. So we'll see. We're making it, we're advancing. We are advancing, okay? It isn't where it was 6 months ago. And I think, we are getting there. Sooner or later, I can't see what the final result's going to be, but we are marching in that direction. We're not there yet, though. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not there, man. In the meantime, the media was telling everybody that these tariffs were a bad idea, that they're going to tank the economy, all this bad stuff's going to happen because of the tariffs, right? But I think we just took in all but $30 billion in tariffs during the month of July. So we are well over $150 billion of tariff revenue coming into the country that is not included in the Big Beautiful Bill Act. So this is all extra money that nobody had idea, they weren't banking on any of this money coming in for any of the budgetary decisions that were in the Big Beautiful Bill. So this is all above and beyond, man. At the same time, we now have a negative migration from this country. They have shut down the border so efficiently that 0 immigrants are coming into this country, but thousands are leaving every day. So I can't wait to see these numbers because the self-deportation system is a very well thought out setup system. It's going to cost us billions, but it's going to work because level-headed people that are here illegally understand that we are going to need a lot of workers, okay? So pretty soon we're going to be opening up the work visa programs. Citizenship will be opened up so that we can accommodate to have all these jobs, so that we can manufacture everything that we need in this country. This is what needs to be done. So all the level-headed illegals that are here right now, get a free plane ride home, get $1,000, and reapply the right way. Come in the legal way. There was something else about that topic I wanted to mention. Oh, ICE. ICE is hiring, okay? In the Big Beautiful Bill, ICE has been funded with, I think, $75 billion right now. So ICE needs to hire like 10,000 agents right now. So if you got a grandkid, he's 18, 20, 25 years old, he's in shape, and he needs a job, tell him to go see the country. Sign up with ICE, man. Visit all the cool places in America. learn some gun techniques, learn some law enforcement, learn about your country and the legal system. Get a 6-digit salary. That's $100,000 or more, plus some $50,000 signing bonus that you can earn. You know, if you're hired and you stay on and fit all the requirements, there's an additional $50,000 bonus you can earn by signing up with the Border Patrol right now. That is an awesome idea. And a lot of us got grandkids, right? That are right around in that age. So get out there, Sonny. Get a job. You'll love it, too. You'll love a job like that. That would be a cool job, man. I think it would be a cool job. Doing such a good thing for this country. The way that they destroyed our country by allowing all these immigrants to come in here was absolutely criminal. Criminal, man. We had a major earthquake happen out at the edge of Russia. It was an 8.7 grade earthquake. It was the 6th most powerful earthquake ever measured. I think, you know, that's got to go on some chart somewhere, right? It created tidal waves or tsunamis in a bunch of locations. I haven't heard about a lot of people dying from it yet, because I think, you know, they have good tsunami systems around there. We're all pretty savvy on that. We got good emergency systems set up, and I hope everybody got through that one okay. But there has been a spat of earthquakes going on, so I don't know what's going on with the earthquakes. There's definitely scripture about that in Revelations. So you know, we're in the end times. I've been in the end times my whole life, basically. I thought that was interesting. Cory Booker. This is all in the last week, man. Cory Booker got up and did an angry speech where he was yelling at all the Democrats about what they're doing wrong, man. And CNN is all of a sudden saying how the Democrats have the lowest ratings. So they're toning us up for the election so that all the Republicans go, oh, we're going to easily win this election, and then half of us don't go out and vote. So don't let them do that to us this time, okay? We gotta know that we are gonna vote in every election, no matter what, first of all. But they put this news out there. CNN, would you ever believe anything that they say? Even though it says, oh, the Dems only got 30% approval rating and MAGA's kicking butt. I'm not gonna even listen to that, because that's a lie too, you know? We have to vote consistently. And Cory Booker got up there and did another, because you remember Cory Booker did that 8-hour speech, the 8-hour filibuster, whatever that is. Cory Booker did it again, man. He's definitely a joke. And I also heard that John Kerry, also known as Lurch, deleted all his tweets going all the way back to 2008, right when this Russia thing started heating up. So apparently he got scared of something, deleted everything he has ever posted on Twitter about since 2008. And oh, by the way, Peter Strzok from the FBI also did that, and he was able to somehow wipe all his tweets off the Wayback Machine. I don't know how you do that. I guess you got to be in the spook club in order to do that. Another thing that just went right under the radar, nobody noticed, was that St. Paul, Minnesota was under a state of emergency for a day or two because their whole city was under a cyber attack. Okay, so we're becoming more and more reliant on computers. We're talking about digital currencies and stuff now. We're talking about just entwining these the computers in our lives, but they are not totally secure. They can still be hacked. The AI can turn against us if we're not watching it, you know. And so we got to watch this AI thing, man. Elon is up on the AI thing. Before he even joined up with Trump, Elon was on the good side of AI, where he understands the danger that AI presents to us, and that we need to like keep a close rein on AI as it develops, man. Ridgeline, how's it going, Ridgeline? I saw you yesterday. Oh, the MAGA Warrior flag wave. We had two great events, man, in Patriot Land this week. And MAGA Warriors flag wave was one of them. That was great. They had a rainbow flag carrying libtard just camped out right in the middle of them. Couldn't start us up. Couldn't start up any chaos. And what else? All right, so August 1st, the tariff deadline was August 1st. So a lot of this stuff is just now hitting the fan. Apparently India, and everything's negotiable. India had a tariff rate established, but Trump just found out that India is buying Russian oil and gas, and then they are reselling it. So Trump has put sanctions on Russia. Anybody who deals with Russia gets a higher tariff rate, man. So Trump's going to put the screws to India and see if he can reel them in. Peace through strength. We don't need to fire missiles into India. All we got to do is say, all right, you want to talk to Russia? You want to make Russia money by buying their oil, and then you want to turn around and make money by selling that oil throughout the world? You're going to pay a higher tariff rate now. So that is in negotiation right now. And in other news, groundbreaking has occurred for Trump's ballroom at the White House, man. If anybody needs a ballroom on the planet right now, it is President Donald J. Trump, man. Because there just ain't enough room, man. Trump needs that room. He needs a ballroom right at the White House, man. And these libtards are losing their minds over it because it's going to cost $200 million. But I think Trump's going to foot the bill himself, basically. It's going to be privately funded, built by one of the best designed, real estate magnates on the planet. This room needs to be built. So we need a place at the White House. Up until now, they've been setting up tents for these goofy events that they've had. He's also redesigned the Rose Garden at the White House so that it isn't muddy right after it rains, I mean, Trump knows about buildings, man. He knows about a lot of stuff. And I don't mind just taking the back seat and letting him drive, I hate second guessing the man because so many of his decisions are right. They're good decisions. They are leading us to an age of prosperity. So I think that's all the notes I got. And I don't got any videos this time. But Patriots, we are living in an age where a coup d'etat has occurred in our government, literally, okay? They established it, I think all the way back when Obama was elected president. I think that is when the coup happened. They gained control over most of the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C., which is power that our Congress handed out to other people and have lost control of it now. They put like organizations in charge of power that Congress used to have, man. They gave all the health decisions for the country to the CDC. Look what the CDC did with that. They altered the 2020 election and pretty much queered every election since then because they instituted mail-in voting, which is totally able to be rigged, totally able to be fraudulent. So I think it went all the way back to Obama getting elected, and we'll find out. We're finding out more and more. We're definitely finding out about Obama and Hillary with the Steele report and lying to the FISA courts and spying on American citizens and the president and his cabinet. And people need to go to prison for this. So hopefully if Congress's involvement in this is as small as possible, I'm thinking we're going to see actual people getting sentenced to penalties for committing treason against our country. It's as easy as that, man. Right on. Yeah, I'm going to put some memes on and light up a cigarette here up here in Backroads. Let me see. I got some screenshots, Ridgeline, from... So, MAGA Warriors did a little short with you in it, too, Ridgeline. I don't know if you saw it. There we go. This is a great flag wave that the Patriots out near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania have done. They've been going out almost weekly, maybe every other week now, and just waving flags. You guys got an awesome group of Patriots there. Libtards, they just drive by their little car, their little tin box with the windows rolled up, and they stick up one finger as they drive by. They got no energy, no fight left in them. There was some fight left in one of them that was had a rainbow flag. Who defiantly stood right in the middle of them, right in front of the camera with a rainbow flag. What a maroon. And they all look the same, don't they? So I don't know. I don't know what her message is. I don't know if she was counter-protesting the Trump fans here, or if she was trying to tell everybody that the rainbow people support Trump too, is actually the message I think she sent by doing what she did. And I did notice that MAGA Warriors, you guys didn't get as many fingers while she was standing there. So I don't know. Maybe invite her back again. I don't know how she was on the talking to her or nothing, but we'll have to see. And then they had this funny sign here. I loved it. I got some funny ones here. Just to be clear, she doesn't date Trump supporters. Okay. Thanks for the warning. Hey, Jay Jones. Jay Jones, man. You guys were awesome in the chat for the MAGA Warriors, man. We had it going on there. And then the other event that was really cool for Patriots this last week was Sapphire Patriot did a really good live stream of an event out in Parkersburg, Pennsylvania that Robert Morse, that's where Robert Morse is from. And it was at the American Legion that he painted a mural on the wall years ago. And he told us about it in the phone calls that we got from him. All right, what's going on? Oh, we got this whole American Eagle Outfitters jeans scoop going on with this hottie chick who is just wearing the jeans, making commercials about it, and it has somehow just fired off the libtards, man. And I'll tell you what, we're just having a dandy of a time with the memes all relating to that. This I thought was one of the best ones. Trump just hanging out. Trump's got good genes. That's what the libtards were trying to say, that, you know, it was a white supremacy commercial because she says she has good genes and she's blonde hair and blue-eyed and it's Hitler. Oh my God. The Hitler cry. The Hitler cry went out. I forgot what this one was. Oh yeah. This is a white male. This is one of, I think, the representative from Delaware. Yeah, sun-kissed. Ain't he looking hot? Trump. Unbelievable. I don't know. If any of you got a younger brother or sister, I'm sure you have done this. Good Kentucky. At least they stand up about it. I mean, that's crazy. That is mental illness on display, man, for sure. These people are delusional, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just letting people go rampant with this sickness, and it is not healthy. It is not healthy whatsoever. Oh, since it was just such a happy time. I was taking screenshots left and right, man. Here's the general getting down, man. He was spinning some great tunes there on the bridge, rocking out to like Rush and Fleetwood Mac and Pat Benatar. That was great. Way to go, General, and the crew, Chad and Speedy. It was great seeing you guys out there. That was just so fantastic. Here's Chad with the Trump head. I love that Trump head, man. He just walks around and puts that in Libtards windshields when they're at the stoplight. Don't get any food on your phone there, Kentucky. This is what we're dealing with. Pick your side, Patriots. Pick your side, America. Where do you stand? Yeah. No, that wasn't the general kicking out the flamer. The rainbow flag girl. I was definitely telling her to be careful with those flagpoles around her. Got to be careful with them flagpoles. They can get you into trouble. Here's the mental illness ID bracelet. Yeah, me neither, small water guy. I ain't paying for overpriced jeans. Good to see you, Smalley. USA, how's it going, Sean? There's another Sweeney comparison. Liberals are offended by that, but perfectly fine with this. Make it make sense. This is I know they got one in Philadelphia and they got one in Seattle. The naked bike ride. And everybody cheers for them as they drive by in their disgusting nudity. It's just, all right, Sean, you doing a stream tonight? You got some good Benny for us and spreading the information, man. We're trying to keep everyone focused. Got to just reiterate the information. Epstein is for libtards. Russia hoax is the focus of what we're doing. Okay, here's an interesting tidbit of information right here. Does everybody know who Senator John Thune is? He is the Senate Majority Leader. So here's a post from 2 days after the election in 2016. 2 days after the election in 2016. Donald Trump should withdraw and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately. Exactly, Beer and Backroads. Who is this guy? Now, Trump is just lathering these guys up on his True Social, like praising them. Him and Johnson. But Marjorie Taylor Greene said the leadership in the House is abysmal. It's negligent. It is horrible. And then we got this John Thune guy, and we know where he's coming from because that's what he was posting freaking 9 years ago, you know. All right, Sean, give it to us tonight. I know, Sean, because Thune is a train wreck. And this is what I'm saying, that Congress is still compromised. They are not fighting for us. We have a majority in the Senate and the House Republicans and the presidency and the Supreme Court. Why aren't we we should be speeding to the freaking moon with the MAGA agenda. Oh, Lovey Bugs, man, another one. Another friend with TDS, no longer a friend. Well, turn them on to the Epstein thing, because that'll bring them around. But they're still going to be way behind on everything else once the indictments start showing up and the trials start happening. I don't know what's going to happen with the trials, man. I mean, it can go either way. And we don't need the Durham Annex to know Hillary and the FBI set up Trump. We watched it happen. We saw it happen. We had the evidence of it then. So what is all the hoopla about this Durham Annex? And how does Chuck Grassley get his hands on it? And all of a sudden, that's the talk. So maybe this is either Trump's way of just disclosing this coup that has occurred in our government to the American public again, because it was presented to us back when it happened. And the media complied. They lied to us about it. So here's where I got a YouTube channel. Sean's got a YouTube channel. We got YouTube channels. This is likely why God set us in these positions, man. All right, yeah, guys, check out Sean. We're trying to really flush out the libtards that have been just decimating on his chat, man. We got some clown who comes into his chat with a channel that you cannot delete. It's impossible. I don't know how he does it. It sucks. And it'd be like somebody coming into your living room. It smells like a pig pen, and plopping down in your chair and handcuffing him to the chair. Like, you can't get him out. You got to deal with this guy. And he says the rudest things. So come on in and have some fun with this libtard. We might have scared him away already. I haven't seen him in a while there on Sean's channel. But we're trying to get the viewership back up. And Sean does a pretty good job of getting the information out. We're just waiting for this. Arrest Hillary. No, Barbara, you can't block him. When you go to check his channel, it says this channel does not exist. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. And I don't got time to call YouTube and talk to a computer and, you know. Here we got a meme from the Scooby-Doo show. You remember on the Scooby-Doo that they would always like pull the mask off the villain at the end and find out who he really was at the end? And here we're finding out the Russia hoax. Well, if it isn't our old friend, President Obama. Right on, Jay. Getting it done in Texas. Texas House passes motion to arrest the Democrats. They're pulling a shifty move down there, man. All the Texas Democrats went up to, Chicago. They're hanging out up in Illinois so they don't have to vote on this new redistricting thing that you're doing down there in Texas. Right on, Jay. Arrest them all. Right on, General. Salute you, buddy. Freedom is in the air. Good to see you, Patriot. Sanctuary city mayors are defying federal law. They are insurrectionists just like the southern governors during the Civil War. President Trump should declare martial law in those cities, arrest the mayors, appoint military governors, and restore the rule of law just like I did. That's Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, Lovey, last 5 years, I'm going more than that, man. The last 20 years have been tough. But after a long train of abuses, it becomes duty to stand up. We got to do something about it. The Declaration of Independence is a good read for this particular topic, man. People are more prone to put up with injustices as long as it doesn't disturb the normal order of things. But sooner or later, it becomes our duty to stand up and apply a government that more beneficial for we, the people of this country. All right, did Priscilla jump in here? Hello, Priscilla. Good to see you, Patriot. Trump is, over the course of time, has totally put a new spin on what's going on in Ukraine right now. And basically, it's just a slaughterhouse over there. There's no reason for this war to be happening. The only reason it is happening because of the weakness that FJB showed the world when he was installed as our fake president. Nothing but a slaughter going on over there. Trump is diffusing wars all over the planet right now. And this is the one that we need to make it stop. And if our Congress wants to send more money over here for anything, that's it. That's done. We're done with it, man. Same thing with that Israel-Hamas thing, man. That is not our mess, Patriots. And we got to withdraw until they figure it out over there. Because we're on a mission. We're on mission, save America, Patriots. So I don't know what's going on with the digital currency thing. I do know that the Federal Reserve, we made a law. They cannot establish a digital currency. So we got that part blocked off right there. I don't understand the whole topic enough to even talk about it, really. But all I know is that Jerome Powell's got to go. That's another battlefront that Trump has opened up Trump exposed the fact that he's spending $3 billion on a building remodel, which is absolutely unheard of anywhere in the world. And we're all supposed to think this is just freaking normal around here, man. Yeah, here's what I was saying earlier. Imagine how much more winning we would have if we had real GOP leadership in the Congress. They are our only roadblock. And here's where we the people jump in, man. We change Congress. We have to make sure that our Republican candidates are 100% on board with Trump. Verbalize that. They need to verbalize that. We need to see action on that. There's a poignant one. Trump is reversing all my policies, says Obama. Well, Jesus is telling him, you reversed all of mine, which is why I sent Trump. Remember Obama came out and said he was a Christian. He said he was a devout Christian. And then he goes over to Greece or Egypt or something, his first trip out of the country as president, and declares to the world that America is no longer a Christian nation, but a nation of many religions and blah, blah, blah. And then he let it slip out. Wolves in Finance just did a really good video about Barack Obama's Muslim heritage, where he points it out. A bunch of times Obama said things that there's no other way to take it than he's a Muslim. But he lied to us. And then the mainstream media lied to us for him. You guys want to laugh? Here's a laugh. UN predicts disaster if global warming is not checked. Oh, that was in 1989. A senior UN environmental official says entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by rising sea levels if the global warming trend is not reversed by the year 2000. It's clear as day once you can see it, patriots. Clear as day. Oh, right on. Jay Jones reporting. Bondi sends Russia hoax indictment to grand jury. All right, so she must have got the info then, too. I heard there was tens of thousands of grand jury indictments sitting in a room somewhere waiting to come out. I'm waiting on that. Yeah, so because when I was in first grade, I remember getting my weekly reader newspaper, and they were telling us how the ice age was coming. And then by the time I got out of high school, it was global warming. They changed it while I was in school. Right on. Let freedom reign, General. Let it rain. Tulsi Gabbard's putting her neck out, man, for sure. Tulsi Gabbard said that Operation Mockingbird never ended and that it is still in full swing. And it is. It's still here. They're still doing it. Every night on television, they are still doing it, man. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Zach is amazing. He does a broadcast every week. He comes up with a new topic. He's very well informed, And he just does a great job presenting an idea. He's like what a journalist is, you would think. Jack Smith is getting investigated, Priscilla, yeah, by Congress, though. Yeah, I hope they keep Tulsi safe too, Sunkist. She got the ball rolling on this coup d'etat thing. And who better of a person than the one person that they pulled every trick in the book while she was a Democrat running for president? They did it to her before. So, loving having Tulsi Gabbard on board. This is where we're different. We are not Republicans. We are not Democrats. We're not independents. We are MAGA. And Tulsi is risking it all right now, that's for sure. We're finding out about what the new world order is. The UN, the WHO. It's a bunch of really rich people who want to take over the world, who pretty much have the world taken over right now, except for a couple of scragglers like America. And it's time we fight back now, patriots. We got to fight back not only for ourselves, but for the freedom of the world. And the world is standing up too. There are massive protests going on all over the country. Look at this big, beautiful ballroom, man. Look at that. That's the artist's rendering of what Trump wants to build there, right next to the White House. And then a couple weeks ago, Trump said something about having a WWE event there. So maybe we could get like an octagon ring fight going in there or something someday. Ain't that pretty, Bonza? Ain't that pretty? Trump sure does know how to build some cool stuff, man. Here we have the plan to defund Planned Parenthood. The House voted to pass the bill. The Senate voted to pass the bill. President Trump signs the bill. And this woman overrules it. Is this how we can run a country? These are the battlefronts Trump is picking out. This is an identified problem now. These judges are doing it over and over and over again. It isn't just one problem judge, like Judge Boasberg. He is under investigation now. All right, and since mainstream media didn't report on it, I want to give this guy some notoriety. Here's the guy who stopped that knife attacker, who the cops just couldn't call a hero. Derek Perry, he is a hero. He stopped the lunatic that stabbed 11 people at the Walmart in Michigan. We would all forget about this guy. We would forget about that incident if somebody didn't make a meme about it so I can put a meme on. God bless you, Derek. Did it with more tact and patience and courage than the police do. God bless you, sir. Here's just a great shot of Trump there in Scotland. I think that lady is the head of the EU. I don't know what her name is. But that was just a great shot. And it was where Trump decided to launch his war against windmills. I am all in favor of this because they fed us a bunch of lies about the windmills. They told us it was clean energy. But it takes more toxic ingredients to build one of these windmills than it should take, man. And then to establish it, to set it up, and then for it to kill birds and whales and stuff. So this is a great meme here. We will slay every last friggin' windmill. Yeah, he was sun-kissed. He was pretty much saying you're screwed. I'm telling you how to unscrew yourself, but you're screwed. And will they listen to him? We'll see. Not with the current leadership there in Europe, though. Except for Italy. Italy's clued in. I think Netherlands got a good guy, and Poland's got a good guy in power. Oh, what was that, Jay Jones? Trump's lawyer takes over to Tina Peters' case. Oh, I got to go read that, Jay. That's great information, dude. Gateway Pundit again. They're still reporting on the good stuff. There's no way to dispose those, right? Or that's what Trump's saying, because you can't just bury them because it's bad for the dirt. Watch how Trump said that one little comment there. I think he's poking fun at the environmentalists at the same time. I think, of course, we could probably bury those things, but the environmentalists tell us it'll hurt the dirt. Oh, I don't know who that is. Is that like, I don't know who that would be. I think that's probably a grok photo party bonza. It's supposed to be like Robin Hood and Little John, or, I don't know, King George, possibly. I never heard of Peter Tickton. I'm not sure what Peter represented Trump for. There's a lot of lawyers out there that have helped Trump. Warriors don't quit on each other. Family doesn't quit on each other. The fate of humanity rests on our ability to continue fighting when things seem bleak, and we are needed more than ever. Whining gets us nowhere. Rise up, speak up, and fight. Oh, maybe that was Don Quixote, Debbie B. Right. Peter Tickton was the lawyer, Priscilla, that helped Trump, who is now taking the Tina Peters case. And here's what I was saying about when the libtards come out of that Epstein rabbit hole, we're going to need more MAGA hats. All right, General, God bless you, sir. Thank you for stopping in. Planning your summer vacations? Come visit Cincinnati. That's a picture of the woman who got clobbered by some dude. This is the libtards are seething, man. Political violence of any kind has no place in our society. I thank God that former President Trump is safe. We could see right through the mask there, libtards. No, party bonds, I didn't even get onto that, about the pastor who wants them jailed, or the DEI chief of police, or the DEI mayor. There was a lot more to cover on the whole Cincinnati thing. But that's just because the media is whooping it up into a shitstorm, you know. That's what they want to do with that information and keep us all distracted, man. So I hear the information, yeah, so it's really horrible that happened. That's what you get for living in a city and going to a jazz festival till 2 in the morning in a sketchy neighborhood. You know, that's the way I look at it. And don't mouth off to people and don't get in fights, you know. There weren't any cops around. There should have been a lot of cops around. But they were defunding their police there, man. No more committees or investigations. We want trials. Right on, D. McLean. Thank you for stopping in tonight, man. God bless Goldie. Help her out, man. What's up, Mr. Nagy? Good to see you, sir. Another fine patriot. Russiagate would not have been possible without a complicit propaganda press. That's all there is to it. For years, Patriot, they came on night after night after night with a pre-programmed message that they all repeated over and over and over in unison to us every night. For getting on 10 years now, Patriots. Got to slay the beast. There's going to be some type of a class action lawsuit against all these people once this information comes out, and we know that they knew while they were lying to us that it wasn't right. Because this is what the press is going to do throughout the whole Russia collusion hoax. Coup d'etat, man. And they're still doing it, Sonny. They're still doing it to us over and over. They're not going to report on this at all. They haven't been at all. Not in my newspaper, not on my local news, not a peep. And we're up against this. These are the people that did it to us. And it isn't just Obama and Clapper and Comey. It's the whole crew of them. All right, it's getting dark here, Patriots, so I'm going to have to wrap it up. I thank you for stopping in here. Just trying to document the demise of the Democrat Party and the rhinos. Let's get them out of there. Let's make America great again. Oh, we're getting sprayed. And we got a good chemtrail to go home with tonight. Right by the moon coming up. Right on, Nagy. This is where the Patriots hang out. We're just trying to keep it going, Patriots. Keep it going. We're not out of the woods yet. Trump is a great leader. Have confidence in most everything that he does. I think he's learning lessons too. That's why he didn't go after Hillary, and now he understands why. we need to go after him. He could fire Jerome Powell tomorrow, but he's going to go about it a different way. He's got a seat on the Federal Reserve Board. There's so much information I didn't even get on, you know, that's happening, and it's all good news. And it is forward progress, advancing on all fronts. So thanks for joining in, Patriots, and check out Sean tonight if you get a chance. Witness the vulgar, putrid comments that the phantom YouTuber can put in his comments and not get deleted. File complaints about the guy if you see him in there. Tell Sean to skip the commercials when the commercials come on. All he's doing is rebroadcasting like news clips and stuff like that in a very primitive way, like we do everything. Just like we're doing right here, right now. So God bless you, Patriots. It's been a wonderful day. God bless America. This is Jericho, over and out.